Daylight.
Daylight.
Mobbing on Earth, boy. Showtime. Hey.
D-Mark got that heat.
Curtain call, let the show begin. I know it's hurting y'all the way I'm going in. I need a murder dog covered for the times I was killing shit and y'all ain't know it then. Working hard, long hours in the trap, in my bag like some dope again. It's that blue magic, no Nicky Barnes cut. Niggas know who I'm doper than. Everybody, old nigga, new nigga, only see a challenge in a few niggas. A lot of y'all can wipe the smile off your face on the mob, it ain't none of you niggas. I just put the switch on the new blicker, rapid fire spitting, it's a boost nigga. 2 Street for a lot of you niggas, hard knock life, body 2 jigger. Back on my shit again. Endurance, I tire him out like a Mitchell, and I'm about to put on that shit again. I was trying to be humble, but fuck it, I'm still a man. Don't rap like a kilogram. They finna spin this up top like a ceiling fan. I'm about to pop like a trigger man. From that hustling stock, so I'm all about my dividends. It's showtime. I was trying to get rich in like no time. Underdog with a slow grind. Had to run the shit up to a gold mine. Niggas hated like the whole time. Now they kept the wave like a coastline. Yeah, these bitches fronted like the whole time. Now they front row when it's showtime. Cheering for a nigga, pulling on a nigga. I should pull a Kevin, kick her in the titty. Nah, I'm being petty, baby, I'm just kidding. Go on with your move, I ain't even tripping. I ain't pooping back when I was in the kitchen. Had 3 counted, catching what I'm pitching. Montana way, started with the dishes. Out of town played, not the pocket trip. Real G's round me, going through the fiction. Niggas rub me wrong, it gon' be some friction. It gon' be a spark, I'ma stand on business. Ain't no favorite I can stand them niggas, they gon' lay in dirt. Candlelight visuals, face on the shirt. Now you get the picture, Psalm 23. Now you get the scripture, homies, they gon' fly. They done got religion. I be outside, functioning with killers. Police outside, hunting for the dealer. Bitches mouth wide, hungry for a nigga. I ain't even drop no money on the ticker. True player, I be turned with the ism. Bad bitches know the vibe I be giving. Fuck the haters and the lie they been telling. They'll make the news at noon 10 and 11. Showtime, it's showtime. I was trying to get rich in like no time. Underdog with a slow grind. Had to run the shit up to a gold mine. Niggas hated like the whole time. Now they kept the wave like a coastline. Yeah, these bitches fronted like the whole time. Now they front row when it's showtime. Cheering for a nigga, showtime. I was trying to get rich in like no time. Underdog with a slow grind. Had to run the shit up to a gold mine. Niggas hated like the whole time. Now they kept the wave like a coastline. Yeah, these bitches fronted like the whole time. Now they front row when it's showtime. Cheering for a nigga.
Okay, then. Yeah. Hey, man, say, man, it's your boy DAA, man, Daylight TV. Back at y'all with another live show. Episode 38. Up the numbers. Shout out to Money Jane anyway. If you're on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button. Shit, if you're on Instagram, Facebook, still hit that like button. Help the algorithm grow. Share the live. Get the people in here or whatever and shit, man. Let's build the community. But y'all know my slogan, man. Game don't wait. Damn sure catch that bus if you're running for it. You know? So we're gonna get right into it, man. First up, Dame Dash breaks silence and goes in on camera. So, in a recent interview on the American News Network, which is Dame Dash's network, Dame responded to Cameron again, really. His February 2025 comments criticizing his financial decisions. He kind of covered this on the Art of Dialogue. I reacted to it when actually I had Baby Truth on the platform, you know what I'm saying, at the time. The Rockefeller co-founder called Cameron's remarks coward shit, and revisited like old tensions, including a public announcement by Cameron that allegedly fueled the Rockefeller breakup, which we all know is the joint where he went on Hot 97 and said that he was about to be the president, the vice president of Rockefeller, right? On the Talk with Flea podcast in February 2025, Cam has suggested that if Dame had managed his money better, he'd be set for life instead of having to keep hustling. Cameron's comments were prompted by an earlier interview in which Dame complained that people he helped, like Kevin Hart, were not supporting his current endeavors. You know, that was that's pretty much where it sparked. Because now it's like saying all the people you help. It insinuates that you're talking about Cameron, state property, like everybody, though. They help a lot of people. But I mean, you started a lot of careers and you made a lot of money off of helping those people. So it's not just like did that shit. Nothing. Your own self-interest. In his own interview, on the American News Network, he broke the silence in a point-by-point rebuttal. You know what I'm saying? Dash stated that as a man, Cameron should have called him directly to discuss his concerns rather than talking about his finances publicly on a podcast. Yeah, but somebody say before you go in there saying all the people that I help that didn't, that are not supporting my new endeavors, you're not necessarily being specific either, my nigga. He describes speaking about another man's pocket behind his back as unmasculine and cowardly. But he didn't necessarily say it on behind your back or behind anybody's back. He said it in front of the world, just like how you said in front of the world that everybody you help don't be helping. Now with Cameron's like recent success and the financial benefits that came from his newfound podcast success, you can say that Cam is one of them niggas up on the bag that ain't helping you. But you ain't called to clear that up and say like, yo, just so you know, when you see it on the interview, I'm not talking about you, and so on and so forth. Dame revisited the story about Cameron previously, how he previously announced his own vice presidency of Rockefeller on the radio, and said that was the straw that broke the camel's back or whatever. And said, I guess outside of Jay-Z not playing the pause game, he claimed that the public statement, which Cam later laughed about, he said that Cam laughed about during his Memphis Bleak interview, showed a lack of loyalty and contributed to Rockefeller's collapse. Yeah, but you kind of late to be doing and pulling that out of your hat, my nigga, because you've been like riding with this nigga the whole time. You done did your movies and all kind of shit. So, like, what are we talking about? If you really felt that way or whatever, I mean, Rockefeller was your biggest cash cow. You know, the most successful thing you had going. So if you really had that all bottled up or whatever, why aren't you addressing this or whatever and shit? And then why is it just coming out now? Since we're talking about, you know, addressing people to their base. Now, Dame even went as far as to question Cam's music career since Rockefeller, saying that since Rockefeller, I haven't seen you have a hit record yet. Now, Cam got off Rockefeller in 2005. Since then, he dropped Killer Season, the album and the movie, which were both successful, regarded as a hood classic. On the Killer Season album or whatever, he had Sucker the Knot. I believe Get 'Em Daddy was on there. And the joint dissing Dame's former business partner, Jay-Z. Behind Dame. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Dame accused Cameron of using his platform to like criticize other black men and noted that Cam often discussed his brothers with his eyes. So now he's talking about the situation where, well, for one, tearing out the black men or whatever and shit is kind of off because, for one, primarily it is what it is, a sports show. And Talk with Flea is about him telling stories from his life and his career. Now, other people may be involved, but he's not necessarily making it about other people. The story always involves him. So if something happened to me or happened with me, I have a right to tell that story. Now, I might say, I'm not going to say the person's name, but how much are you going to do that? And then a lot of this stuff is public information. Like, the fans know about it, all that shit, bro. So it's not like no secret. You know what I mean? A lot of this shit is just getting clarified because there was probably a worse version of that story going on in the streets. You know what I mean? He contrasted Cameron's Harlem shit of like talking behind people's back with his preference for face-to-face conversation. Right now, the thing too, before we get into that, is the discussing his brothers with his pops. Well, before Cam even had a discussion with Cam about the Bros, the Bros went and did a whole show with the Ops. So what are we talking about? If Jimmy and Joel didn't go up there on that damn stage with 50, there would have been nothing for Cam and 50 to talk about except the old beef or whatever. They wouldn't have been able to talk about Jimmy and Joel doing that or whatever and shit. I think or whatever and shit that it was kind of G that Cameron was able to laugh about that shit or whatever, and you know, like him and 50 seem to be on a cool. The two pettiest niggas in New York. You know? And as far as like face-to-face conversations, I mean, you be on the internet poking this shit like everybody else. About Jay, about Biggs, about what you did for people. You understand what I'm saying? And again, you got paid for all that. You made money, you made millions off of all of that. Potentially, you made more than the nigga that you helped. Being the CEO and all. Now, Dame also brought up an old story of Cameron allegedly getting punched in the face and never addressing it, questioning his non-confrontational nature. So now he's being personal, my nigga. Because nothing that Cam has said about you is anything that the media has not been saying for the last damn near 20 years. And you you said shit too. Like you said, you were doing the podcast shit back in, like, you said 2005. I don't know if it was that far back. The shit with Kenyatta, like, I started seeing that shit when, like, right before I got locked up. The streets was rocking with you, damn, because you was really going on there giving game, and then it switched or whatever. It went from giving it, and I guess it was good because the Poppington Art Gallery was going. Rachel Roy still, you know what I mean, whatever the situation with that was good for you. You know, you were doing your motor oil, you know, all this stuff or whatever, right? So we just looking at it like, oh, the nigga who is at the height of the game, you understand what I'm saying? Like, is coming out and giving the game. But then, I don't know what happened. Like, by the time I came back from prison or whatever and shit like that, you just start sounding like the bitter nigga, especially once, you know, all the talk about Jay-Z being worth like a Billy and all of this other shit. And I guess people saying like, man, if you had been able to just stay down and all of that, you know, maybe that. He also claimed that Cameron went around him to start the Dipset clothing line after they initially planned to be partners. Did he really go around you? Or, because Dame brought up how he basically hooked Cam up with the manufacturing and all of that. Now, this shit I can kind of relate to because I've had people who I've met who had like clothing brand ideas, and given I have a little background with the fashion shit, I plug them in or whatever with a place where they can get their shit manufactured at a high quality and everything like that, where they can compete with these more established brands. Do I think that entitles me to be like a partner? I probably could have played it like that. Like, yo, I'll bring top of the line manufacturing plug to the table. You just gotta cut me in. I could have played it like that. But then it's like with some people, the way I prefer to play it is, there's a lot of value when you're just the person that knows how to put people together and then fall back or whatever and let them do their thing. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that you hope is that, being that you're kind of in the middle, vouching for both parties, that, you know, no bullshit happens. But yeah, to Dame or whatever, listen, you didn't do that shit. All of that stuff that you did for people, which you did a lot, but you didn't do that out of pure benevolence. You get what I'm saying? Like, maybe we can give you that credit or whatever when it comes to Jay, because there was no situation yet. You just believed in it. But once like Rockefeller and all that shit is started, and anything that you did, like you get a bad work at. You know what I'm saying? So let's not act like you don't fall in line with what Adam Smith said. It's not the benevolence of the butcher, the baker, or the farmer in which you receive our dinner, but their own self-interest. Let me know what y'all think or whatever about that or whatever in the comments. Hit that like and subscribe button. Daylight TV. So Next up, matter of fact, before we get into, before we even get back, before we jump to this next story, we got to get into how Dame or whatever looked. You know what I'm saying? Like doing this thing. And I'm gonna just make this real quick, and then we're gonna go on to the next story. Dame said just had his eye surgery, and he was in the dentist's office while he was filming to get the surgery for because he said his fiber, his implant broke or something like that. How the fuck that happened? So he's up there with like one eye and like no teeth, like at least the front 8, 6 are like out of there, like, you know what I'm saying? So the boy up there, whatever, and shit was about 22 teeth. You know what I'm saying? Where it should be 30. I'm sure, but anyway. But he said he had some things that he felt like he needed to say. Now here's the thing. He addressed the Cameron shit February of well, not long after the whole shit happened or whatever. He was on all the dialogue talking about it and all that. So my thing is like, don't do that to yourself, bro. We already, whatever, we still laughing about when your teeth popped out your mouth or whatever, when you were challenging 50 Cent like in a network war. You know what I'm saying? So whatever it is, could have waited. And you talked about the Queen of Harlem or whatever came and told you to leave it alone and shit like now. Some could argue whatever that it's not masculine to have, like, you know, a woman counsel you on how to deal with your little brother. I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, see, it's just when you start putting those stigmas out there, that's the risk that you run. But then you're out here looking like fall apart rabbit, bro. And I hate to see it here because I got a lot of respect for what you put down, but this ain't it. This ain't it. I understand trying to be transparent and like basically you're trying to like rack up views and everything like that too. You have nobody to tear down, I guess, or whatever, so it's like you'll tear yourself down. Or at least present yourself looking toe up. You know what I mean? So yeah, bro, don't do that. Like, don't embarrass yourself or whatever like that. Don't embarrass the people or whatever who are doing this. But yeah, now going forward, getting into people who are aging well. Lil Jon takes 3rd place in muscle beat competition. I had no idea that Lil Jon was on like a fitness journey. So Lil Jon made his fitness competition debut by placing 3rd and earning a bronze medal in the 2025 event. He competed in the men's physique masters over 45 category. You know what I'm saying? So basically all the people 45 and older, because Lil Jon like 53. You know what I'm saying? At the annual Labor Day competition in Venice Beach, California. And that's actually, the cover like that. That's actually Muscle Beat behind Lil Jon. You know what I'm saying? Lil Jon documented his journey to the stage for over a year, focusing on fitness and wellness. His trainer, Jay Galvin, helped him prepare with a strict regimen that included protein, low-carb intake, no processed foods, and intense 3-day-a-week workouts. Okay? Homie got it together for 3 days, like, but see, that goes to show that diet play a big role in that shit, bro. Cause like he only doing that shit 3 days a week, and you know he done built a third-place body, bro, for Venice Beach. Shout out John. The rapper has promoted his healthier lifestyle on social media, even releasing a guided meditation album called Total Meditation in early 2024. Damn, I didn't know that. Damn, I missed all of that or whatever that shit. On Labor Day, John, at 54 years old, competed for the first time at the Muscle Beat Championship. He participated in the men's physique over 45 division, like I said. I'm just going through the article, seeing if it's something I bet. Yeah, so he made history as the first artist to compete in the event, which is considered a major milestone in the damn show. Lil Jon stated that he was winning just by being here, just by being there and changing his lifestyle mentally and physically. And he expressed the desire to inspire others who believe that they don't have time for fitness and health. In addition to competing, Lil Jon also performed at the event. That shit's what's up, bro. I didn't even know that Lil Jon was on a whole fitness journey and shit like that. My nigga got himself together. That nigga face looked hella different. You know, I didn't even recognize that nigga. I thought he was Andre 3000. Yeah, man. Shout out Lil Jon, man. Might start seeing Lil Jon in some action movies or whatever. Speaking of physique, Rise and Get on live show, episode 38. Yeah, money. That shit crazy. I didn't even realize that he had been on a whole fitness journey, and then that's a year's work. So shout out to yeah. But yeah, man. So speaking of like I said, speaking of physiques and body transformation, The Rock turns into the Pebble, leaving fans wondering about his health. So I've seen this shit, and I did a little digging, like, damn, is there something wrong with The Rock or whatever and shit? Because, you know, people start trolling him. It made me think about homie from Black Panther and how, people were trolling him for the weight loss and all that shit. Whole time this nigga was fighting cancer. You know what I mean? Like, I said, let me go see what's going on or whatever with The Rock. You know what I mean? With the homie Dwayne. So, while I was looking at it, whatever, I found out that Dwayne The Rock Johnson recently revealed a dramatic weight loss, shedding an estimated 60 pounds for his role as MMA fighter Mark Kerr in the film The Smashing Machine. He displayed a noticeably slimmer physique at the 2025 Venice Film Festival. See, he's shedding weight, Lil Jon shedding weight and putting muscle on or whatever and shit, all in Venice. Right? Which, sparked a widespread public reaction, you know what I mean, and media coverage, you know, concerning his health. But Johnson stated that he was really hungry. You know what I'm saying? Like, during the time that he took on the transformation for the role of Mark Kerr, which is a significant departure, I ain't gonna lie, from like the usual action hero thing, like him being in an actual biopic. You know what I mean? It's like a different level of acting for him. So I'm definitely interested to see how that works out. The actor expressed I'll be writing this shit like I'm really the, you know. But The Rock expressed the desire to challenge himself beyond his typical blockbuster persona and explore more vulnerable and authentic roles. He cited also that a digestive health problem he began treating in early 2024 was an underlying motivation for the shift in his physique as well. In June of 2025, he revealed that years of antibiotic use had damaged the gut lining, and he had been misdiagnosed with a heart ailment before consulting a functional medical expert. Some people attribute Johnson's weight loss to a combination of disciplined diet and changes in his exercise routine. The new regimen, they said, included a strict diet of lean protein and controlled portions of complex carbohydrates. A significant change from his previously high-calorie, cheat day heavy, you know what I mean, like routine. I didn't even realize until I started working out myself or whatever while I was locked up, and they had some of the fitness magazines in there, and this nigga was talking about like the cheat day that he takes and all of this other shit. So I was like, damn, this. Rather than focusing on heavy lifting to build mass, Johnson has shifted to lighter weights with more repetition to and increased cardio, which is good. Like, you know what I mean, as you get older, because that shit wears on your joints. You know what I mean, like after a while. So, kind of smart that he's, you know, getting past that now. You know what I mean, rather than keep trying to push yourself to do all that crazy shit when you 50 something or whatever. And you know, so yeah, smart move. This body recomposition approach pretty much allow him to burn fat while preserving, you know, like the lean muscle. And I'm pretty sure, you know, he don't want to go down to, you know, a twig. You know what I'm saying? The Rock's slimmer look, you know, it surprised many, like I mentioned. Fans jokingly nicknaming him the Pebble. And here I am. I thought I was being like creative, like when I sat here and I made that the title. And then as I was going through the joint or whatever, I realized like, oh shit, I ain't say nothing. The internet is undefeated. Others expressed concern, you know what I'm saying, and many just praised him for his commitment to the role and for, you know, prioritizing his health. The film premiere received a 15-minute standing ovation at the Venice Film Festival, moving Johnson and director Benny Safdie to tears. The dramatic change may signal a new phase in Johnson's career, allowing him to take on more emotionally demanding and complex roles. Johnson is one of the several celebrities who have recently undergone significant physical transformation for movie or television roles. Shit, because for instance, for his upcoming role in Josephine and Roofman. Shannon Tatum underwent like 2 different body transformations in 2024. So he reportedly, I guess, got up to 233 pounds for his part in Josephine, before slimming down to like 172 for Roofman, if I remember correctly. And I ain't gonna lie, in the beginning I thought that Josephine and Roofman was like a movie about Josephine and a Roofman, like, you know what I'm saying? But shit, Catherine Dior, for her role as Catherine Dior, Maisie Williams lost over 25 pounds. And in an interview with Harper Bazaar UK in like February 2024, the actress said that she ate very little while preparing to play the French resistance fighter, who was was also a concentration camp survivor. That, yeah, I guess she had to look like malnourished and all of that. Brendan Fraser had donned a prosthetic suit for his role as a 600-pound man in the 2022 film The Whale. Despite the suit, though, he's still committed to physical transformation by gaining some weight for the part. If y'all remember, 50 Cent dropped from like a muscular 215, they said, to about 160 pounds in just 9 weeks. And he achieved this by following the strict liquid-only diet. And his daily regimen included spending 3 hours on a treadmill. In addition to the weight loss, he had his extensive arm tattoos removed. And that was for the movie All Things Fall Apart, where he played the football player who had cancer and all of that. So, yeah, that's crazy, man. You know what I mean? But it does show the seriousness, like in the acting. I mean, he's been acting for a long time, so clearly he's serious. But I think with his age, I don't think he wants to be the old nigga doing action films. You know, like trying to do, you know what I mean, and shit. So, you know, he want to diversify his acting portfolio. Getting up there at 80, he ain't no spring chicken no more. So, yeah, man. Shout out to Vot. And that's the picture of him from the event or whatever. Like, he definitely looked slimmer than what he did before, but not really as drastic. I thought, like, when they said, like, dramatic weight loss or whatever, I was thinking, like, more along the lines of 50 Cent type of situation. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, let me know what y'all think. Y'all think the Rock would do good in roles outside of his traditional action-packed, you know, thing? And, like, well, I don't know where the Fast and Furious, like, there's 10 Fast and Furious now, so I don't know if there's going to be, like, another one, 11 or whatever. And shit seems like it, though. But yeah, man. Speaking of, yeah, shout out to the Rock though, man. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like and subscribe button for me if you're in here. Daylight TV. So speaking of 50 Cent, he's gone from dropping this track to this documentaries, right? So P gang, Following news of the former Suntory CEO's resignation after a police raid on his home, rapper 50 Cent recently trolled the company by threatening to produce a Netflix documentary about them. The rapper had been embroiled in a legal battle, you know what I'm saying, with Beam Suntory since 2024, accusing the company of a multi-million-dollar embezzlement scheme involving his liquor brand Sire Spirits, which is named after his son, one that he still likes. On September 3rd, 2025, 50 Cent posted a screenshot of the news article about the investigation of former Suntory Holdings CEO Takeshi Ninami. That shit is crazy that Takeshi is real close to Takashi, nigga. The rapper's post stated, now they're getting caught up with drugs, I'm gonna make a documentary about this. Netflix. The action is a direct result of the lawsuit filed by 50 Cent company Sire Spirits in March of 2024. The lawsuit accuses Beam Suntory and its former executives of an embezzlement scheme that cost Sire Spirits millions of dollars, $6.8 million if I remember correctly. The scheme allegedly involved executives overcharging for liquor and keeping the difference as a hidden commission. 50 Cent also noted that Suntory changed its name from Beam Suntory to Suntory Global Spirits, and he claimed this was an attempt to avoid culpability, and wrote in an Instagram post, changing the company's name without correcting what was done to my brands doesn't fix the problem and lacks honor, end quote. Beam Suntory had denied all allegations, stating that the company had no involvement in or knowledge of any fraudulent activity. So they're not denying that it didn't happen. They're just saying that they weren't involved, but somebody with you niggas was involved. Now, in a related case, Michael Green, a former employee of Sire Spirits, pled guilty to federal wire fraud for his role in the alleged kickback scheme. Sire Spirits attorney Craig Weiner has claimed that Beam Suntory's former chief commercial officer, Julius Grant, facilitated the alleged fraud. Man, that nigga 50, like I said, nigga do a documentary on Diddy. I mean, shit, who else? Like, but you know, he in that film world now. Like, he got his own studio and all that shit or whatever. Like, got the bag. So it really just seems like bro has gone from this track to this documentary, and making documentaries on your ops or whatever and shit that are monetizable, that's some real millionaire petty shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is like Cameron booking Omar Gooden or whatever to go to Miami and, you know, do the whole push-up for $3,500 just for kick, because it actually comes out to be about $9,000 less than sitting courtside at the basketball game, you know. But shout out 50, man. I don't know, maybe Suntory didn't get the memo and shit, but that boy petty as hell, man. That boy petty as hell. Always has been. You know. 50 had also commented on the Young Thug thing or whatever and shit, like, yeah, somebody like dancing in the rain or something like that, and he was like, hey, you gotta be careful out in the street, like everybody tell him, like, this is how you gotta be in the street. Like, they was like dancing in the rain, like trying to avoid getting wet, you know what I'm saying, some shit. But yeah, let me know what y'all well, you know, y'all think. I mean, y'all already know what's up with 50 or whatever and shit. I'd like to see how the lawsuit shit turn out. But yeah, dog. Oh yeah. Nah, like 50 Petty was everybody know it. Everybody know it. So I've been doing this story time thing, right? At the end of the show, sometimes not. So I've been doing this story time thing, and I spoke about my time in Atlanta and how I found out that some of that work or whatever it is moving might have actually, well, not might have, like they told me that he was getting the shit, like, or the shit was coming from like the BMF thing and shit. I didn't know this shit or whatever until Wolf got smoked, which is kind of funny because the BMF series ends with some big nigga getting killed, like in the club, and Meek getting arrested for it. That was supposed to be the incident in the club Chaos, where Wolf and I think Lamont got killed and all that, right? Then I was about to skip right to when I moved to California, which led to me meeting Charles Cosby, Cocaine Cowboy, whatever. But then I like caught myself or whatever, like, bro, I can't really leave out that 6 months that I was in New York from basically like the summer, you say from July of 2005 till March of 2006. That was long for 6 months. So I get back to Atlanta. I don't know what's really going on down there, and like the reason I left because it started to get like a little hot. You know what I'm saying? I actually went and my mom had got the spot for that. You know what I'm saying? Like around early 05, end of 04, early 05. And I was there for a while, but I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I was gonna actually try to like get a little job and stay low because I had a couple dollars, you know what I'm saying, put up. And then that shit just wasn't working or whatever. So, and out there in Gwinnett, like, there ain't nothing out there. So this shit was different from being in the city. So I came back to New York and, what the hell? I was looking for like a gig, whatever. Somewhere in my young mind, I just had it like, yo, if anybody come looking for me or whatever and shit, I done had a job all this time. You know what I'm saying? So while I'm looking, I go on a couple interviews. I was on Craigslist, you know what I'm saying? Like looking for jobs, all that shit. So I'm going to the interviews and I don't know, maybe I wasn't really trying. But I didn't necessarily need like a job. I just needed someplace like to look legit. Not realizing that they could have easily proved, you know what I mean? Just to go to show I wasn't always just like, I didn't always think shit all the way through, right? Baby Truth, what up? So, nigga, I'm out here. I end up, a nigga Dre, man. Anybody who know like the mixtape game in New York know about Dre from On the Road, Bargain Bazaar. That's 4th Street between Hanover and Bond. You know what I'm saying? So, nigga, so I'm in the spot or whatever, and I tell Dre, because he's like, yo, what you all suited and booted for? And I was like, yo, I'm out here looking for a job. That nigga looked at me like I had 3 heads. Like, nigga, you got a job? Like, what the fuck going on with you? You know what I'm saying? So I ain't really going into specifics with him. But anyway, he said, yo, come see me Monday. I said, you gonna give me a job? He said, come see me Monday. So I come, I see the nigga Monday, I start working in the mixtape spot. Now this is low-key lit because I used to hang out in that bitch anyway. But that was one of my like little spots I could hold up in when I was downtown Brooklyn doing my thing, you know what I mean, selling my little twerk, you know, all that, right? Nigga, I started working there, and it was a little animosity and shit because you had a lot of niggas who started out as like flyer niggas, like working outside and trying to pull people in, right? And nigga Dre just put me right on the register. You know what I'm saying? Like, for one, that nigga know, like, I don't need to steal, nigga. And 2, I don't steal. And 3, you know, I know how to handle money and shit like that or whatever. I know how to sell shit. You know what I mean? So, put me in there. I'm doing my thing. I mean, you could have put me outside. That would have made it too easy. But I know everybody downtown. I would have just had niggas walking in. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in there. I'm working in shit or whatever, and I never forget like how I stopped working there. I was probably only there for about a month. So one day, niggas doing the count, like, you know what I mean? I was like, we would do the count. I would have to count the CDs, and, you know, like figure out because we would have the inventory from the day before. That shit was like a real trap house, bro. Like, this shit was no different than me sitting here like, yo, how many bags we had before we started? How many bags left? Okay, how much money should that be? Now we do the count, it's like the money and all of that shit to add up. So one day, this nigga, I think I might have even, I don't even know how that shit. But all I remember is the fucking register came up $7 or $8 shit. Now, but I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sitting here like tripping, like, bro. Because if that's the case or whatever, that means one CD, right? One CD is unaccounted for. So this nigga is really trying to be like, you know, detective about this shit. And I'm like, bro, I don't really want to be held up in here or whatever for $7 that probably didn't even get took. To say whatever that the shit didn't get miscounted or whatever. Like, but anyway, so I'm just like pretty much offering like, yo, bro, you want me to give you $7? You know what I'm saying? And he's like, nah, it's good. So I'm like, yeah, all right, so he probably realized like, yo, I'm tripping. Like, tripping over $7. He probably made like 800 that day off of like, you know, like profit, whatever and shit. So look, nigga, payday comes around, right? And we get paid in cash. I'm counting the money. You got paid like $250. It's all off the book, but I mean, yeah. But I'm counting the money. I got $240, like $2 or some shit like that, $43. And instantly, I didn't even ask, bro. I already knew what the thing. So I go like, yo, bro. I said, what's up with I said, my shit short, you know? He's like, I took $7 out of everybody paid because the shit came up there. I'm like, nigga, you serious? I said, so you think I stole? Because, bro, for me and like how that nigga know me and shit, I would have just been like, I nigga, if I was gonna steal some shit, like if I'm gonna be a thief, for one, I wouldn't be a thief, I'd be a robber. You know what I'm saying? Like I would just take that shit, like and everything else. And I'm not gonna like, for the way my loyalty is set up or whatever and shit, like I wouldn't steal. I damn sure wouldn't steal from a nigga who gave me a job, whether I really needed it for the money or needed it for an alibi or not or whatever. You're still helping me do something, so I just don't rock like that. And the way I am is, bro, if you think that way about me, I don't want to fucking be around you. Right? Now, I ended up like leaving, you know what I'm saying? Like I had a little attitude. I was there for like another week. And I just had a whole little attitude or whatever and shit. And then I told that nigga that tomorrow, like let's say it was Thursday. I wanna say, cause we got paid on Saturday. Cause or whatever. I'm not mistaken. I forget. Friday or Saturday. But the nigga, I told the nigga on Thursday that Friday was gonna be my last day. And I was already kind of throwing a fit, bro. Like I had a little attitude. I was doing all kind of just little dickhead shit. You know what I'm saying? Cause I was like, yo, this nigga really, bro, I don't like being treated like a thief. Like, you understand what I'm saying? That's not my shit. Like, you can't handle me like that. I don't do that shit. I don't rob niggas. I don't think. The only time I've ever taken anything from a nigga is like for humiliation purposes. You feel me? Oh yeah, no doubt. Shout out Money James, always in his support. Shit, baby, true. What up? Thank you. So anyway, so I leave or whatever and shit. Like, you know, me and Dre have been cool for almost 6 years or whatever at that point and shit. So it wasn't no beef. Like, cause before I was working there, bro, I was like a regular customer and shit. I used to be in there mixtape crazy. You know what I'm saying? Spent a couple hundred years. Like, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't just going buying 1, 2, like, bro, I believe in like tape. So, I ended up getting this other job working for this courier service, right? And I got this job or whatever through some people, Jen, that's the people. So BMP, man, Big Man Production, shout out my nigga Big. And I know he don't mind me telling stories. You know what I'm saying? But before I went down to Atlanta or whatever, well, not before I went down, while I was kind of back and forth between there, because in the midst of that, like of me moving down there, I kind of started a whole rap group and shit. Before I even knew about like Mano and all of that other shit, because in 2021, not 2001, I was doing this hustle hard shit, but it was HU $LE HARD, like hustle hard, right? And so I So what happened was, so we was recording in my nigga White studio. Shout out White Beats, wherever you at, bro. You know what I'm saying? That was like the first studio I was consistently like recording in. So I started going over there myself, you know, recording. This is when I got over my hunch of I didn't want to be a rapper because all the rappers that I was beating was kind of, you know, close. So I'm back recording or whatever, and then I decide like, let me think it all the way through, and I'm gonna start. Oh shit! I didn't even realize I wasn't on screen. So yeah, after I left the job with Dre, I ended up getting a job through courier service or whatever through Jen, may she rest in peace. Who was my man Big wife or whatever and shit, who ran BMP. So I was back recording music. I was working out a White studio. That was when you know, some of those first sessions or whatever, like I can actually say I had real legends in my first session or whatever, like Hot from the UMCs. You know, a Phantom of the Beats, and some of y'all might know him. He produced Apollo Kids for Ghostface, Magic 50 and Lil Kim, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So, you know, he was there, whatever and shit. And then, and I was being managed by my nigga Slim, who actually grew up with my moms and my pops. He was my barber for a little minute too before he actually became like my manager. Now I'm over here at BNP. So while I'm like kind of back and forth between Atlanta and everything like that, and I'm still like on the fence with the music because I got other shit going on, I actually started a group. I put this nigga, I don't know if I want to say, bro, but fuck it, man. So I put the nigga Pace down, you know what I'm saying? And another nigga, you know, Pace or whatever was actually living out here in Staten Island, but he was from Harlem and shit, over there on Orange side. Then I got this kid named Pressure, who was from Colonial Courts. Right? It's kind of a crazy story or whatever and shit. So that's the group or whatever and shit. Like the way I looked at it was, I was gonna be 50 Cent and these niggas were gonna be Lloyd Banks and Tony Yayo. In my mind, Pressure was Lloyd Banks, Pace was Tony Yayo. Only in the sense that Pressure was the better MC. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so, he wasn't better than me, you understand what I'm saying? But yeah, you know. So, got the group going, we're going over the Whites or whatever and shit, and then I started working out a deal with her. I would pretty much pay this nigga like a flat monthly fee, and pretty much whatever the rent was on the spot that he had the studio. And that was a cool deal or whatever, because we would get like, I think 10 hours for the week or something like that. So that was just for me being able to keep them niggas in the studio consistent. You know what I mean? The only thing that disrupted that flow was that we needed another studio to be in P shit, and I had to arrange that with because like, they were doing some construction shit in there, and a fire started. It was in Williamsburg, and it ended up like burning the studio. Like shit was all fucked up. I remember when nigga Slim gave me the call. So that happens, and And during that time or whatever, with like with pressure and pace or whatever, what's interesting is there was a lot of bullshit that started to happen, right? So at some point, like the first person like I fell out with, you know what I mean, where the group started to come apart was pressure. So he found himself in a situation where his sister moved. Or she was moving in with her boyfriend. Their parents had left them the apartment. They moved down south. And so now first he got to come up with this rent money or whatever, you know what I mean, by himself. He had lost the job that he had with housing. Probably had something to do with drinking. That nigga was drinking 40 like a motherfucker, like Black from Belly. You know what I'm saying? He was on that. So nigga don't have a little gig and anything like that. And this is kind of stupid, but like later that I think about it in hindsight. But one time, so I started going to California at that time. You know what I mean? Like taking a little trip because I was already supposed to be short. I left this nigga probably a half a pound of weed. Like, yo, so his sister, he didn't have the moving issue. I was gone for 2 weeks. Came back, nigga still had like half a pound. And he said one of the ounces he smoked. So it was like, yo, nigga paid me for 3 zips. And I just took the other shit back. Like, bro, I could, you know what I'm saying? Because I fuck around the type of nigga I was. Like, I sell that shit on the way home, leaving his crib. So like just the nigga in his hood. You know what I mean? But fast forward, the sister's moving out. I got the dog and I got the card at the time. I ain't really gonna get that nigga no dog, cause I don't know over there doing that, and that shit is a little more territorial at the time than, you know, the hard shit. So I gave the nigga half a zip on. So at the time, like that nigga could have easily made 14 off of that bitch. He would have only had to give me, I only wanted 5 back. I took it out of something bigger, so the number didn't even matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have probably made like an extra 100, 125 off of that nigga just giving me 5. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just helping my artist out the way I look at it. So, nigga, one day, so I finally go and check this nigga or whatever about the bread. Like, nigga, you in Harlem, bro, by Upper Park or whatever and shit. This should be nothing for you. I was surprised that I had to call the nigga to find out where he was at with me. So, when I go and tell him, he tell me he gave the word to another nigga to move. Now, I'm like, all right, maybe the nigga ain't a hustler nigga. Maybe he knows somebody who got like some flow, but he not consistent with his package and shit. So we go see the nigga ain't got the money. So then he start telling me some story or whatever and shit. I'm ready to fire on this nigga, but then at the same time, it's like, I'm still kind of like, I got a foot in Atlanta. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I got shit going on like where that shit is a different type of bread, so I'm not really tripping, dog. I'm really about to say fuck New York, like, as far as dealing with anything in the city, because I'm already like going, at least in New York, like I'm already kind of going out of town. So this is just some bullshit that I'm doing to help somebody out, and it being more of a headache to me. So, I get into this shit or whatever, and then basically I realized that, nah, bro, this nigga trying to protect, because it's like he trying to protect the dude that got his money too. So once I realized that shit, whatever, I did a photo shoot for Trace Magazine. Shout out Daniel Pebble. He was the photographer and journalist who did that art. I can't find that shit. They went out of Trace Magazine went out of business. He wasn't down with Trace, but he was freelance. He didn't think he got the slot. So he was doing a joint on like albinos and shit like that. He had taken pictures of albinos from all over the world, but like nobody from the streets. You know what I mean? So you do a little photo shoot or whatever, pressure and pace or whatever was there. You know what I mean? In the shoot. I probably got some of the pictures somewhere in here. Nigga. So, but like, time this is happening, all of this shit with the work is happening, right? So, the dude Daniel Pebble called me and said that we had to do a reshoot, like to shoot another set of pictures. And so I went there and then I told him that I'm like, yo, bro, let me get the chains because we had some jewelry or whatever I acquired. Pressure did have one chain of his own. You know what I'm saying? Like before I bagged this shit. And Paid it too. I'll give him. So, nigga, we got so we doing this shit. And so the dude's like, we gotta reshoot. So now at this time, I'm like, what am I gonna do to get even with this nigga work? I tell the nigga like, yo, let me get all the jewelry and shit, because we gonna do the reshoot, I'm gonna wear all the chains. It's fucked up, because they ain't even in the views in that picture, and that was actually the better picture. So, bro, I take the chain, I go out do the shoot. Let's just say the shoot was on Friday. Sunday, I'm with this nigga Pace and his girl. We in Midtown or whatever, like by Union Square. That nigga Pressure called me and he say, yo, what's up, bro? When you gonna bring the chains? Chains? Like, what chains? He said, yo, the ones I let you hold for the photo shoot. I said, oh, nigga, you got robbed, just like you tried to rob me. And I hung up on that nigga. This nigga Pace and his girl is looking at me like, well, Pace's girl, I just remember her looking at him like, yo, your fucking friend is crazy. Like, so, nigga, that nigga Pressure start calling me with all these threats and, yo, then it's like 1 minute he'll call me with a threat, then I guess he'll sit here and think about who the fuck he's talking to, and then that nigga he'll call back like, yo, I ain't even gonna be mad at the chain. I guess you really needed it, and you understand? Nigga playing on my ego like I need to rob him, like I'm fucked up out here. Like, nigga, I'm out here helping you out, nigga. Like I threw you a half and took some hard, like 1,400 worth of work and shit, like it was nothing, my nigga. And what's crazy about it is I think Pressure was probably a year or two older than me. And this is around 2003. So I was only 19, nigga. You see what I'm saying? Like, so he was the shit. Going like, bro, like, nigga, these. I said, bro, I don't need some of these shits or whatever you got from me. So now, the nigga, his sister called me, the one that moved out. And so I'm telling her, like, she's saying, like, yo, why are you bothering Jay? That was his real name. You know what I'm saying? Like, you already took his chain and everything like that. Like, trying to make it seem like I just plotted, like, anything. I'm like, yo, first of all, I said, why would I need to take something from a nigga who I gave him something or whatever to help him get money so that he could pay the rent because you moved out? And then he go and give it to this nigga Mikey. That's what we'll call him. And she said, wait, you talking about grimy ass Mikey from, I'm like, yeah, nigga. And I guess his sister know more about this nigga Mikey than I do, so she said, Whatever it is she knew, she said, you know what? I don't even give a fuck now. Because now I see what happened. And that was the last conversation. That was the first and last conversation I really had with that nigga sister, because it was always high and by with me and her. So, nigga, I ended up actually giving this nigga his chain back. At least the one that like was his. He got that back. You know what I'm saying? That other shit I got. And that nigga was standing there. He said he had a new North Face coat and some new Timbs. I guess he got that off of the money off of that damn pack or whatever shit I gave him. And man, fast forward, I forgot how I bumped into this nigga or something like that. And like, but he was with somebody or some shit. Or I think I might have been on that damn party line thing. I used to have a little racket on that shit. And I heard that nigga on there. And he was telling me he was down south with his parents and shit like that. Like he finally went down there. And then he was just like, yo, my bad about that. That shit was fucked up. Bro ended up fucking me over too. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, nigga, like that was like later on and shit. I might have been in California by then. Like, you know what I'm saying? So the way it ended with Pace was, so when Pressure left, started fucking with my son T.Y. from uptown and shit on 142nd. And basically, you know, started, cause I wasn't really hanging out over there because I didn't really have time to hang out over there. I was still doing that little courier shit. You know what I mean? By this point, I was officially back in New York and I was doing courier shit. So while I'm doing that or whatever and shit, and we over there, you know, fucking with Big, we recording in the Bronx over by Jackson Project. And that was where I started writing for the nigga Casual, doing all the R&B shit, you know what I mean, all that. Copy Cool was over there. He had the song Palakaye, and Pylon, you know what I mean? He was on my Everything Under the Sun project. A lot of niggas, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, roll through there. That's actually how I met the nigga Shell too. Yeah. But so the real quick story on that was at one point, you know, I would go over there after work because I was working in the city. So I would go up there, and then I started like, you know, selling a little bud while I was working the job, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I always was saying like, yo, selling weed like vacation, like stop selling all the like other shit. He just be low key selling little, you know, zips, plates here and there, whatever. And then since I was on the job, it was like plenty of niggas, you know what I'm saying, like to hit off. So, bro, you know, so I would get some trees from like around the way or whatever shit. And well, you know, like I'm functioning with niggas over there and shit like that. And you know, like my grandpa and shit like that, he from 142nd and between 8th and Brandhurst, like, you know what I'm saying, over there by Drew. So like I'm familiar with that area. You know what I mean? So Hayes is hanging out over there. And one day, cause this nigga ended up like staying over, like he ended up renting like space or whatever and shit for the studio. Right? So one day I go over there to check the nigga T.Y. because I just left 145th Street or whatever. I went and bought some t-shirts and then I probably went to DJ, got some sneakers, Cat USA, got fitted, regular shit, bro. So I just stopped by there before I go to the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? To see what niggas at. So when I get over there, he said, yo, down T.Y. I'm like, nah, why? He called you and told you, like, you know what I mean? Because I figured somebody probably just saw me over there and, figured I was looking for him and told him. He probably called Peyton. Probably couldn't get me because I was underground, like, taking the train. So I was like, nah, he's like, nah, I know everything. I got eyes everywhere. You gotta watch where you go. Watch where I go. Like, nigga, I don't gotta watch where I go nowhere in the city. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm stamped, nigga. So that shit, you know what I mean? That shit going on. And so we get into it or whatever and shit like that. So he tell me how, like, niggas ain't really feeling us over there. I'm like, who the fuck is us, bro? I don't even be over there like that. For there to be a us situation, you know what I'm saying? So that's that. Now, like I said, I'm busy, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I got other shit going on. I'm actually still going to visit Shorty in Cali or whatever and shit. Like, I can take a little time off, you know what I mean? And so, I mean, one day I'm at the job and doing the courier shit, and T.Y. called. He's like, yo, what up, bro? Like, 'cause we ain't been in the studio, like, you know what I mean? I ain't been going over there, because my thing is, I'm not ducking no rap. It's just whatever issue niggas got over there with me, if there is an issue, it gotta be supported, because I don't even be over there like that. And when I'm over there, I'm in the crib or sitting outside like with T.Y. talking about some music shit with the next planet. So it's not like I'm in anybody's way, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or disrupting the program that they got going on over there. So T.Y. is like, yo, you ain't been over here or whatever, like, what's good? I'm like, yo, but I hear it. No, niggas ain't really got no love for niggas though. Like, niggas ain't really welcome. He's like, what? He's like, yo, who got a problem with y'all being over here? Like, you know, he kind of said it, so like, it's like my hood, like, you know what I'm saying? So I said, well, that nigga Pace said, he's like, you know what? So now, the nigga T.Y. calls Pace while I'm on the phone, and he say, yo, you told Light that niggas ain't want like him or y'all over here? And he said, that nigga's a motherfucking liar. T.Y. now he don't know I'm on the phone. That nigga T.Y. say, yo, Light, you heard him? I'm like, yeah, I heard him. Now I'm at work, but I can't really get into all of this or whatever and shit, you know what I mean? But the whole crazy shit is that I go, so after that, like, I hang up or whatever because this nigga Pace start calling me or whatever and shit on the phone. So he's like, yo, you trying to turn niggas against me and shit. I'm like, nigga, turn niggas against you? I'm like, I ain't even do shit. A nigga asked me why I haven't been to his hood or like been through the business, you know what I mean, whatever. And I told him the reason. But you're not mad about me telling him the reason. You mad because you got caught in a lie. So he tell me that when I get over there to Big in them spots, that I was supposed to be over there in the studio. He said, yo, you come in the studio today? I was working on some music. I was writing for Cash. I'm like, yeah, I'm coming through. And he's like, yo, be ready to fight when you get here. I'm like, nigga, they ain't even your spot. Like, you ran the space for these niggas. Like, how you gonna invite me to somebody else's shit or whatever and rumble at they shit? I called Big. Big, you know, he an OG or whatever. That nigga, you know, did like 20 years, all that shit, whatever, right? And like, we had a different type of beating up the mind. Like, you know what I'm saying? Street nigga shit. So I called Big and I let him know, like, yo, bro, I'm supposed to come over there, whatever, and work on the joint with Casual. This nigga Pace calling me talking about he want to fight and shit. So the nigga really like, what you putting in them blunts? Crack? I don't know about that. I said, listen, all I know is coming in the studio, I don't want that nigga to be in there and do some dumb shit, and I have to fuck him up in that studio, and I end up fucking your shit. I said, so just respectfully, if you could not have that nigga in there, I said it'll be better for everybody. A lot of people, a lot of artists flow through that shit. A lot of niggas have shit going on. So bigger than the other crib. I can spot next door that got the studio down there. When I go down there, Paisley in the studio, like on the other side of the glass, you know what I'm saying? But it's like enough, it's a big ass room, so it's enough room like you can actually sit in the booth. So he's sitting there, I go in there, whatever, I say what's up to casual, whatever. And I see him in there. Like it's kind of dark in there, so I don't necessarily see him in the corner until I see like the weed lighting up. Like, you know what I mean? He's inhaling. And we stood up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, once you stand up like that, then you're like, what's up? Because this is my man at the end of the day, it's supposed to be my guy. So, you know, it's like, yeah, we could have some words and then like, you know, it's been a couple hours or whatever and shit. Maybe Big might have talked to him, all that shit. Nah, none of that happened. That nigga said something to me back like, what up, bitch? So I thought, yo, bro, walk outside or whatever. I think, I don't want to fuck these people shit up. And what I will say I respect is that nigga walked outside. There wasn't no conversation. There wasn't no nothing. Like, he walked outside. You know what I'm saying? I think bro followed me on the gram. I think I followed him back or whatever and shit. I ain't got no ill feelings or whatever. That's how the story went. It definitely didn't go his way. You know, and then I ended up having a conversation with his pops or whatever. You know, and yeah, I just never spoke to bro after that. Like shortly after that, my nigga, I ended up moving to California. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just bullshit out here. Like, and I was starting to kind of, I wasn't running through it. I just noticed that kind of spending money, like I'm doing little jobs and everything. Like I'm not spending the job money. Like, you know, that's the thing. Like, real. I'm actually just paying little bills and shit like that. That really ain't nothing to do with it. I was just spending like the stash or whatever, like hanging out and shit. And yeah, man, then, you know, March came, like I was going through some shit like this little like job shit, cause I was surprised I was even there that long. I ain't gonna lie. Then some shit happened where one dude was moving, he was moving to California too, but Southern California, and he wanted to leave the dispatch position. At first I wanted it, then I decided like with all the little extra pay I get for taking the heavy packages and shit, I didn't necessarily want to sit behind the desk all day. I'd rather be out the street. You know, I can sell my little weed while I'm moving around. And I can shit there. And yeah, that shit ran its course or whatever. And I was living in Harlem at the time, whatever and shit. I was ran into a space in 146 between Broadway and Riverside. And in March 14th, 2006, I moved to California. That's where we'll stop or whatever right here, man. You know what I mean? And tomorrow, I'll tell y'all some of what happened in California. I was out there for like almost 6 years. So it get kind of long. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna have to tell y'all that shit in segments. Some shit I can't tell y'all long. But yeah, man. Shout out to everybody who pulled up. Money Jane, Baby True. You know what I'm saying? Thinking, Hit that like and subscribe button for me. Smash that notification bell if you really mopping with the content. As always, stay dangerous so you safe. It's your boy Daylight TV.